Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Modern Stock Car Cup Tour here in what I would consider to be the halfway point of the season. We are here from the All-Star Open from Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. If you ever thought that you would have a track around your football field and then you turned that track into a raceway, this is exactly what Bowman Gray Stadium is. We have 25,576 on hand tonight for the All-Star Open with Carl McKinney on the pole. Let's get it underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
So you heard the man. They're going to start their engines. We have 16 drivers on the mark for the All-Star Open. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. In row 1, we have Carl McKinney and Dakota Bennett. Row 2, we have Stephanie Larson and Ethan Mitchell. Oh, and we got collisions already. Row 3, we have Luis Aguilar and Faris Khalil. Row 4, we have Tim Moore and Winty Wolf. Row 5, we have Jay Bird and Kyle Driscoll. Row 6, we have Arthur Xavier and Brady Wilmington. That's really all we have time for because, well, this entire field is about to go green right now. Green flag from the All-Star Open. But Christian Coppola, Mitchell Collins, Bradley Ryan, and David Iller are also in the field. It's just a 16-car field for this 40-lap race, so it's not going to be too much, but the threshold is that the top 5 that finish in this race will be on the back end of the All-Star race that will be held later tonight. That is a 100-lap event. But for now, it's Carl McKinney out in front with Stephanie Larson. The starting order for this All-Star Open was... Oh, there goes my mic. But the starting order for this All-Star Open was decided based off of the points standings that they went into this race on. So the All-Star race itself is being decided on... Oh, we have a caution on the racetrack. My apologies. A bit of a tangle up. I saw drivers slow down, but there is a caution on the racetrack. Christian Coppola got spun coming off of turn number 4. So let's take a look at what happened here. And Kyle Driscoll got a little bit banged up in that as well. Let's take a look from the hood of the 31, or actually from the 24 of David Iller, since he was the one that did the turning. Simple as that, right? Because I saw these guys start to slow down, and I was like, what the heck's going on? And now let's take a look from the hood of the 80 car of Kyle Driscoll to see what he sees, since he got his front hood pretty smashed in on that one. He tried slowing down, but it is to no avail, as he is now just leaving pit road. Looks like with no front end. That's interesting. But on lap 7, these cars are getting ready once again. But as I was saying, the starting order for this race was determined based off of the starting position for their in the point standings. So if you won a race, you would be locked in. But if you were also in the top 15, you would also get locked in along with that. So there's 15 drivers locked into the All-Star race. However, the top 5 from this race will go into the All-Star race from the same spot, Bowman Gray Stadium. You know, this is one of the biggest short tracks, not in size, but in popularity. NASCAR used to race here all throughout the 1960s and 70s before getting shut down thanks to the NASCAR sanctioning body creating the new modern era as we know today. So all tracks under a half mile were eliminated from the schedule, and that's why you don't see tracks like South Boston or Hickory or any of those on the Cup schedule anymore. But regardless, it's Carl McKinney still in front, as the pace car will go to the middle of the infield, which is where he will park for a green flag on lap 9. I always just love seeing the pace car literally just park in the middle of the track. That's one of the funniest things that I see when I think of this racetrack. As Stephanie Larson and McKinney are side by side going into turn number 1, Larson could take the lead away, and now there's a caution out on the racetrack. something happened to Brady Wilmington. He's on pit lane. Is that the reason why he's under caution? What happened here? I'm a little bit confused, if I'm being honest. I'm looking for where there was a wreck. Yeah, Brady Wilmington went on pit lane, but does the caution come out there? I am very confused. Hold on. Oh, it was Ethan Mitchell. Okay. So I think this is just another example of somebody got turned and it brought out a caution, because when you're on a quarter-mile track, you can't help it. So let's take a look here. Same spot, but Faris Khalil turned Ethan Mitchell. Didn't even go all the way around, but it was enough to bring out that caution. So probably the guy who is least likely to get into the All-Star race now is Kyle Driscoll, because he was, like we said, wrecked. He is now in 15th, but Brady Wilmington, where is the 62? The 62's back there. He's in 16th. He went on pit lane just before the caution came out, so it produced a very weird situation for Wilmington. But at the time of caution, Stephanie Larson did take the lead away. Let's take a look. So while all this was going on, Larson made a move to the inside and at the stripe, didn't have the lead then, but then, see, right there, the caution comes out and they battle back to the line. So Larson has the lead, and then she's able to clear the 89, and then back to the stripe, the race leader. So we are under caution on lap 15 from the All-Star Open here from Bowman Gray Stadium. It's very interesting how it's playing out, but right now Stephanie Larson is your race leader, followed by, in succession, Carl McKinney, your pole sitter, Jay Bird, Luis Aguilar, and Tim Moore. That is your cutoff that will make the All-Star race if that top 5 were to stay consistent. But then just outside of that is Dakota Bennett, Arthur Xavier, Faris Khalil, David Iller, and Winty Wool. But Stephanie Larson has probably had one of the most dominant seasons yet and hasn't won a race and hasn't been in the All-Star race yet at this point. So, on lap 16, green flag from Bowman Gray. Brady Wilmington, who is in 16th, who is one lap down, maybe trying to cut off. Oh, he's going to pit lane. I think that it's going to be a situation where he's just going to keep going in and out of pit lane. I think we can say that Brady Wilmington is done. At least not in the race itself, but in contention for that spot. You can see he's there on pit lane. Larson trying to hold her lead here on lap 18 as we now go to lap 9. This is one of the things that I love about short tracks, the fact that they just produce always these good races, and even though they do sometimes bring out petty cautions that sometimes aren't necessary, it's still one of my favorites. It's a quarter-mile track, for goodness sake. Quarter-mile, 0.25. I can probably bike a quarter mile in 2 minutes or less. I have a Fuji Nevada, and it's and I bike approximately 7 to 15 miles each time. No, I have a good time. So now Brady Wilmington's back out onto the racetrack. You wonder with the erratic pit lanes that we got going on. Like if we take a look here, look at that. You have to literally go in through holes in the wall to go on pit lane, and then as you leave through this side, you come back out onto the racetrack. I just find that extremely, not funny, but just very ironic, because that's basically a hazard right there. That can cause a wreck at any point. There's Bradley Rhyme trying to make a pass for the 14th position over Kyle Driscoll. Anything that can help in regards to gaining spots out on the racetrack, as the top 5 have rather stayed consistent, with now it being Larson, McKinney, Bird, Moore, and Aguilar. Now Bennett and Xavier did switch spots, and now Bennett is back in 7th. Let's take a look from his victory. Inside of the 43, he could make a move here to make a pass. Let's see if he does that. He is going to make the pass, and he is going to finish that lap 6th. putting him just one spot out of the top 5. But the 55 of Luis Aguilar is just behind him. We'll see if there will be another caution during this race, because right now, with Bowman Gray and everything that goes on within it, you can have lap traffic in like 6 or 7 laps on the green. And that's why cautions are usually pretty frequent in this type of race, because the field is so short. You know, in Bristol, it usually takes about 15 to 20 laps to get into lap traffic. But here, if we take a look at the foot of Stephanie Larson, she's already there. She's only a few seconds back behind Kyle Driscoll, who's in 15. And it's a good ride for Stephanie Larson right now, who for Virginia Beach Motorsports has not had a single win for herself this season, but Armin Salvador did win for the team in race 9 at Indianapolis, and definitely a little bit of an upset there as he led 28 out of 48 laps, while it looked like that race in itself was a whole bunch of upsets, considering that Christian Coppola was in the lead for a little while, Ian Korop was in the lead, even Wilkie Wolf led a few laps. It was definitely an unusual race at Brickyard, and it definitely raised a lot of eyebrows, but Armin Salvador did go to checkered victory lane and was able to take home that victory and secure himself a spot in the All-Star race. Larson headed back to the straight for on lap 34 out of 40. Really a good performance by Larson so far. Let's take a look from the second place spot right behind Larson, Carl McKinney. Honestly, if I'm being honest, with McKinney's story, I don't think that he's really done good enough to, like, if there was ever a fan vote, he would never make it into the All-Star race in any turn. But he's just sort of one of those drivers that doesn't really make that much of an impact when it comes to his personality or when it comes to his actual on-track action. But he just is just good enough that he's able to squeak by with what is most likely going to be his first career All-Star appearance here with a second-place finish. With 4 laps to go from the Bowman Gray All-Star Open here in the Modern Stock Car Cup Tour. Boy, oh boy, it's getting interesting. Larson is now just coming up on that 15th spot at the end of the race is Mitchell Collins, heading back to the stripe. 2 laps to go for Stephanie Larson. Is she able to lap Collins? Because Wilmington is 2 laps down. He's really the only factor here. But in any case, white flag, 1 more lap to go here in the All-Star Open. Stephanie Larson is going to be in control. She is the race leader, headed back to the stripe. Stephanie Larson wins the All-Star Open and will be headed to the All-Star race. Your top 5 is Larson, McKinney, Bird, Tim Moore, and Luis Aguilar. They will make the All-Star race, while Dakota Bennett, David Iller, Arthur Davier, Karis Khalil, Winty Wolf, Ethan Mitchell, Christian Coppola, Brady Wilmington, Kyle Driscoll, Bradley Rhyme, and Mitchell Collins just miss out. So we'll see you guys next time for the All-Star race, which will be very soon here from one of the most popular tracks in America, Bowman Gray Stadium. We'll see you guys next time.